Hey everybody, I'm Somebody, and we're going over the 5 skill trees today, and specifically what they have to offer you. We're going over the categories of Perception, Strength, Fortitude, Agility, and Intelligence. We're starting off with combat things, and later in the episode we're going to get into the nitty-gritties of how they help with day-to-day things outside of killing your favorite candy. Starting with Perception tree, this has 3 main weapons underneath it of the rifle, the spear, and explosives. I'm going to be honest with you, if you're doing a playthrough where you're just running around rocking grenades and just dynamite and all that stuff, good for you. What? The Perception tree is noted by having to have precise actions. The spear and the rifle don't give any leeway or play for you to be able to miss your shots. As you're going to see here, I'm running through this POI with all 5 different types. I did the Perception one first, and I'm going to be honest, I am not good at the Perception skill tree. I suck with the spear. When you're able to throw it, I loved it, but since then I haven't been able to use it to its fullest extent. Perception is all about being able to be accurate with your shots. The spear has the longest reach, but it is not the quickest weapon, and you have to be very precise to hit your target. Deadeye and the rifles traditionally have the smaller end of the magazine, only second to really the shotgun, and even at later stages, the shotgun ends up beating it anyways. This playstyle is normally meant for those that might be coming from a field where it's like, you know, you played Call of Duty growing up, you're used to being really accurate with your shots, or you love supporting if you're playing duos or a big group of people and you're in the back with a sniper rifle just popping heads as they're trying to get to the rest of your teammates. I think this pairs well fantastically with the Fortitude skill tree, where they're able to tank a lot of damage and you're just taking out zombies, because this is traditionally the skill tree where if you're using a rifle, you're normally at least downing them with a single shot, if not outright popping their heads. Up next is the Strength tree, which once again has 3 weapons in it. Boomstick, shotguns, we love them here, the club, and the sledgehammer. Shotguns are fantastic. They're limited by their ammo capacity, and their reload time is traditionally on the slower end, especially starting out with the pipe shotgun. But it is a useful weapon. The spray on it means you don't have to be completely accurate and still has the firepower behind it. The Strength tree is for those of you that want to take things out in as few hits as possible. You still have to be accurate, but you also have crowd control. The boomstick and all the different shotguns have a spray effect. You're able to hit a large area. The power attacks for both the club and the sledgehammer are able to hit nearby enemies, and the sledgehammer is even able to knock down additional ones than just the main one you're hitting with those power attacks. This is fantastic for people that want to be able to just take things out instantly and get things over with as quick as possible. As you can see here, when I'm flying through this POI, I'm flying through this POI. I'm not really scared. I'm swinging away. The big thing you got to be able to keep in mind is if you don't manage your stamina well, you're going to be suffering with the sledgehammer, but that's where the club comes in if that is something you're not really akin to, and you're able to transition from that into the sledgehammer pretty easily without wasting too many points. This skill tree, in my opinion, pairs really, really well someone else doing the exact same thing. I think the Strength tree, if you're going to be running duos with this, just having 2 people with giant hammers and going, I'm out of stamina, it's your turn, and someone else handles it while you're recovering, is perfect, and it's fine. And I think that's where this skill tree really shines. Up next is Fortitude, which is governed by the Knuckles and the Machine Gunner perks. These 2 blend really well together, as the Knuckles allow you to get in nice, close, and personal. It has a lot of things based around taking less damage, mitigating damage, and healing throughout the skill tree, so you being up close and personal isn't as much of a risk, and you're still able to deal out a lot of damage. And the thing is with this, you do not need to be perfectly accurate. Fun fact, the zombies normally damage before your fist even fully extends, as I've had a review going through footage frame by frame doing this for so long. The punch attacks are able to be very forgiving when it comes to accuracy checks. In the machine gun, if you are off with a bullet, the next one's coming in 0.2 seconds, you're able to adjust. It is a lot more forgiving than it is with, let's say, the Perception tree, but it still has the damage from the Strength tree as a happy medium. If you're running duos or in a group, I think Fortitude is fantastic with actually the Intelligence tree. Intelligence, being able to lock things down with a stun baton and keep them stationary, means you're able to get in there and take hits from those that aren't stationary, but you have less things to worry about. And then also with things like the Sledgy or the junk sledgehammer from the Intelligence tree, it's able to knock things over for you, so you have less things to deal with. It makes it so things are a lot more manageable, and the Intelligence plays an amazing support to the Fortitude, while the Intelligence player is able to be safe in the background, as Fortitude's just, well, getting the living daylights beat out of them. The Agility tree. The Agility tree has 3 main weapons. It is the bow, the handgun, and the knife. Agility is interesting as it is, in my opinion, a strong tree 6.5 days of the week. The bow is fantastic for the additional sneak damage on a basic shot at the very get-go. It is 3.5 times the sneak damage instead of 1.5 times, which is amazing. primitive bow and a stone arrow is able to take out basic zombies day one if you get a sneak attack off. The gunslinger is amazing fallback. It has multiple shots. If you get swarmed, you have, at the beginning, 6 shots to be able to handle your stuff, get to a safe position, and carry on with your day. The deep cuts is amazing as you're able to get that bonus sneak attack if you get up there close, but also take bleed damage over time. So you're able to pop someone a couple times, a couple quick stabs, run off, get that safe distance, and they might die in pursuit of you without you doing another thing. The agility tree is all about getting in and out, being quick, but also you have to be very stealthy, and if that is not your playstyle, don't do this. I say 6.5 days though, because on Horde nights, they always know where you are. You don't get sneak damage. A lot of the things about this tree do not work on Blood Moon Night. The agility tree, in my opinion, is able to pair well with almost everything other than strength. Strength is its own thing, and you're able to play strength like you're not insane, but I haven't met anyone that's actually managed to pull that off yet. If you're doing a strength build, you tend to be running in head first. Intelligence works well as they're able to set up traps, so if you mess up with your stealth, you're able to run back and have a junk turret or a junk sledge handle things while you're getting to safety. Fortitude's amazing, as if things go wrong, instead of a junk turret taking the damage or knocking them down, now it's just your Fortitude guy running up, happy to get punched in the face. It's what they're best at. And Perception's great because if you ever mess up, a sniper bullet from 100 meters away is coming in to go handle the job for you. Finally is the Intellect tree. The Intellect tree is very interesting as it only has 2 weapons, but it kind of has 3. The Electrocutioner has baton and stun baton. Fun fact, the Electrocutioner category is unique as it's the only one that does not have a primitive / pipe / stone standard model, iron model, steel model. It doesn't have that 3-tier progression. It is just baton, stun baton. Then there's the Robotics Inventor, which actually governs 2 weapons, in my opinion, the Sledge Junkie and the traditional Junkie, the one that actually fires shots off. Intelligence perks work really, really well with control. You are the control support character, and that does not mean you can't go do this on your own. Baton and Electrocutioner have less damage, I'd say, than a lot of other weapons, but once the Electrocutioner and you're getting into the stun batons, you are locking down enemies, either in place or with a mob being able to launch them away. You're able to keep them stationary, and the Robotics Inventor side of things allows you to set up traps where you're able to retreat and have a sledgy knock things over so you have time to recover, or a Junkie that's going to start firing and give you additional firepower while you're in combat, bringing that DPS up that you're lacking naturally in the Intellect tree. Intellect pairs really well with, I believe, Fortitude and Agility. If it's someone that might need to get away, you can set up a point where zombies will not be able to follow as easily. Yes, if the Fortitude guy comes running back with 15 guys chasing him, the sledge is not going to handle all of it, but it is going to thin the herd for you some, so you're able to assist him now that he's in a dangerous situation. Now that we covered the direct combat perks and how those end up affecting your gameplay and the style of play you're able to do, I want to go into the rest of these perks quickly and efficiently. We're going to be skipping the masteries as that's going to be its own video in the future. First off, all the different perks have an attribute that is essentially melee faster. And Perception is the quick and perceptive, and all it is your attacks with blank weapon, your melee weapon, whatever category, are 5% faster per tier, up to 25% faster. It's pretty good. If you're having a hard time getting enough swings out in succession, this is where to put some points, and it works every single time for that. Into the general perception perks, there are 3 of these. The Infiltrator, which is essentially you just activate traps a little bit slower. You're able to pick up mines and traps, you take less damage from them. The thing is that being able to take less damage as this goes on, it's like, oh, loose boards and landmines trigger 5 seconds slower and you take 75% less damage. If you take 5 seconds to find out you stepped on a landmine and it still blows up, yeah, you needed that 75% less damage. Mate, what are you doing? Pay attention a little bit more, okay? Okay. Up next, Animal Tracker. This is able to actually be kind of fun. It lets you kind of like role play a hunter character. I really do like that. It is kind of fun, especially with the Deadeye perk, with the rifles and all that. I do enjoy it. I think it's nice. What it does is on your compass and on your map, you're going to see little green icons in the shape of whatever it is. I think the color does change depending on if it's like an enemy or not, but still either way, you're going to see little icons. There's a chicken, there's a rabbit, there's a snake, there's a deer, there's a mountain lion, there's death incarnate itself of a direwolf coming charging at you. Gosh, I hate them so much. Lets you be able to gather meat faster and all that. I don't think this is super useful unless you're playing multiplayer and you guys are really struggling with food. Otherwise, just like go to the vending machine and buy some food. It's fine. Third in the general perception perks is the Penetrator. This lets you ignore armor on zombies. It's only with ranged weapons, you know, firearms and the bow. You're able to use armor piercing rounds to go through blocks and things like that with the actual rifles, which is able to be useful. You know, if you ever accidentally hit a block in your horde base, you're going to still pierce enemies. Armor piercing rounds can penetrate at level 5 up to 4 additional targets. So if you line up your horde base where everything's coming at you in a line, you're able to fire 1 round and possibly kill 5 zombies. That's awesome. That's really cool. It's a bit of an investment, but it's nice. It's nice. When it comes to the 2 scavenging perks, you have Salvage Operations and Treasure Hunter, which allows you to do additional damage to dirt, which I'm going to be honest with you, if you are digging out an area for any project, put a point in here anyways. It speeds it up drastically. On my Twitch playthrough, I'm building an arena to be able to fight the chat in a specified place. I'm getting a perk here ASAP. It's just the smart thing to do. Salvage Operations is also really good if you're disassembling cars, if you're relying on fuel a lot, you don't have the chem station yet. Salvage Operations is able to help a ton with you being able to get around the map, and it's able to get you a lot of the resources you need to be able to craft interesting things like vehicles, like higher end weapons or machines or whatever have you. Okay, up next is Strength. Strength is actually a little bit weird. So it has an additional combat perk, Grand Slam. You cripple things. You knock them down really good. You have them ragdoll. It's great. It gets up to a 50% chance to ragdoll them. You just knock them to the ground. It's fantastic. Up next, General Strength perks. Pack Mule used to be one of the worst perks. Some people really liked it. It was nice being able to put a level into, but like level 5, like, oh yeah, I unlocked my inventory. You know, like you would with armor pocket mods and back in the day clothing pocket mods that you can craft at the very beginning. Like, it wasn't necessary. But now, first, you get increased crafting speed by 10% per level. That's really cool. That's nice. You know, craft a little bit faster. That's good. Your pack has a 5% chance to ignore physical damage when hit. That's rolling a d20. Roll a 20-sided die. If it's a 20, you don't take damage. And every single level up gets you another 5% chance up to a 25% chance to ignore getting hit by a zombie. That's pretty good. Up next is the construction perks. Miner 69 and Motherlode have been in the game forever. Everyone knows how amazing these are. It allows you to be able to harvest more items and then do more damage to blocks, thus getting you more items quickly. With Miner 69 or Motherlode, they are very useful. They help you get through the game a lot quicker, let you get resources a lot faster, and it gets you out of the grindy phase. If you're not enjoying going and harvesting the lead, the nitrate, the coal, the iron, the oil ship, you still will have to, but it's going to be a lot quicker. You're able to get to the parts of the game you might enjoy more. Junk Miner, in my opinion, by what I could see, I've tested this with a couple different resources. I have not gotten it to actually give me more resources, actually. This seems to be things that, when it comes to mining junk such as cloth and plastic, they mean literal trash on the floor that you're going to wake up zombies with. That is not a lot of stuff, if I'm honest. Normally, you don't get many from them. Most trash piles give like 3 plastic parts. Even if it's 100% more, 6 plastic parts is not going to change the thing, especially since a deep collector is what you need those plastic parts for most, and you need 100 of them. All right, and now we're into the Fortitude tree, going into the survival perks. Fortitude's kind of interesting. Everything else kind of has like the general perks and like go and gather items and things like that. Fortitude just helps you survive for the most part. The Huntsman allows you to gather more things. This pairs really well with the Perception one and being able to find the animals on the map. Now, when you go and kill them with a bladed tool or weapon, by the way, steel knuckles count as a bladed weapon for when it comes to harvesting. Really cool. Fun fact. You harvest more. So if you're really struggling for food and you want to go earn your food and you don't want to farm or anything like that, this can be a really good way to be able to go do that. You get 100% more resources at level 5 with a bladed tool when it comes to like harvesting an animal. Up next is Pain Tolerance. This is really, really good. It has 2 effects to it. First one is reduce HP loss by 5%. So you know how the Pack Mule gave you a 5% chance to not take damage? This is like that, but instead of rolling for a chance to not take damage, it's just 5% off the top all the time. And this applies after your armor. So let's say you're going to take 10 damage, your armor cut it down to 8, and you had, let's just say, 4 levels in this. So it's a 20% reduction. You're getting closer to 6 damage now, which is really nice, you know, and it just kind of mitigates that damage, brings it down nice and quick. The other aspect is you're less likely to get stunned. And the thing is when it comes to stun, it's actually interesting. The only way to get a concussion in this game is if you were stunned. If you get maxed out, you never get stunned, which means you never get concussions either. Up next, the recovery perks. These are actually really good. Siphoning Strikes is something I personally slept on at first. What it is per level, you get 2 HP for melee kills. This isn't just with the brawler. Any melee kill gives you 2 HP, and that's 4, 6, 8, and 10. That might not sound like a lot until you get swarmed by zombies and you're getting living daylight speed out of you and you finish the fight and you look down and you're at max health. This is something that has happened. I play with this skill set on my stream. I thought I was going to die, and I looked down at my health, and I'm at max. It's wonderful. Up next is healing factor. This allows you for critical injuries to heal faster, which is always good. You know, this is like your broken arms, your abrasions, your, you know, if you do get a concussion without the pain tolerance stuff, you know, all that heals 20% faster per level, up to 100% faster, twice as fast. It's great. The other aspect of it, though, and what most people take it for, is gain 1 health every 35 seconds, and that reduces to 35, 25, 15, 10, 5, okay? That's nice. It does use food to be able to do this, and if you're out of food and water, your food or water actually is not going to heal you anymore. Your food's always tied to your health. Your water's always tied to your stamina. If you're out of water, you can't get more stamina. If you're out of food, you can't get more health. But it is really nice, especially just popping a point in. It means, you know, if you're having an overnight where you're just going to be working on your base, you're going to be decorating, you're going to be sorting stuff, you're going to be in the mines, you might be healed up to full just from putting a level in here. Up next is Iron Gut. This has 4 effects on it, which is kind of wild to me. Most perks don't have 4 effects on it. The first one is reduce food and water from physical exertion by 5%. So your food and water lasts longer. If you're struggling with food and water, putting some points in here makes it so the food and water you have stays there longer. The next effect, you're able to hold your breath longer. If you have ever run into an opportunity that this was useful, I want you to tell me about it in the comments. I don't believe at any point in this game that you're at 60 seconds of holding your breath and you go, man, I should have invested in Iron Gut so I had another 24 seconds. Who are you that you need to hold your breath in this game? I'm genuinely curious. I want to know you as a person. Obviously, all these things increase as you level up. The next one is your chance of dysentery is reduced by 1% per level, up to 5%. That might not sound a lot, but the thing is, you got to remember it starts at 12. It helps you stay alive a little bit longer. And then also buffs from consumables last 10% longer per level. Last one, rule 1 cardio. We have some footage here. This is insane to me. If you're going unarmored or light armor, or you just keep your stamina high, like stamina cost from the armor, like lower, you only need a couple levels for you to literally double the amount of distance you can cover. It just increases your stamina regen by 10% while sprinting each level up to 30%. And then afterward, level 4 and 5 is permanently add 25 max stamina, and then do it again up to 50 max stamina. Just keep going. The stamina bonus is amazing in my opinion because you're able to just keep staying in a fight longer. You don't have to worry as much. With the brawler, it's ironically kind of interesting. I'll get into books in another video, but there's some book combos in this skill tree that this is good, but not amazing. But I think it works really well in some other skill trees if you're doing a diversified build. But it's just a good tree at 30% extra sprinting. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you could go for almost forever. Like it's amazing. Up next is agility. The athletic perks are really, really nice. It starts out with run and gun. When I recorded this part, it wasn't the most clear. Your movement penalty while reloading is reduced. Not your reloading time, but the amount of movement penalty. Hard target, you just take 5% less damage while moving. So it's the same as the pain tolerance. It's a slightly weaker perk. It's in a different tree. It's a weaker version of the perk. It only applies while you're moving. If you're not moving, it doesn't activate like pain tolerance does, and pain tolerance gets rid of stun. It's a downgrade of that perk, but if you're in agility, it's pretty nice. You're always on the move while in agility. So I think this is able to be good. It's just, you know, within the context of what you're playing. Everyone loves parkour. Everyone loves parkour. Reduce stamina costs, increase safe fall distance. It's nice. This had a major buff. I don't know if anyone knows about this, but so the thing is that what a lot of people like is getting level 2. Jump 1 meter higher. Zombies can only jump 1 meter unless they're stupid spider zombies, which I want removed from this game. They look horrible, and I hate the things they do with the body modification. I just don't like it. It's very. There's some bonuses as you go. At level 3, you never get a broken leg from falling. At level 4, you never get a sprained leg when falling. And at level 5, you never take fall damage. You just never take fall damage. You never take fall damage. Take your gyrocopter to the top of the world as high as you can, and then exit the gyrocopter, fall down like a meteor from heaven, and you're fine. This game's based in realism. Up next is the stealth perks. The hidden strike is essentially just you add 50% extra sneak damage per level. I'm going to be honest with you. You know, most things, like let's just look at the archery tree for a second. You know, it's like, oh, 10%, 20%, 30% more damage, up to 50% more damage. One level in this is 50% more damage when sneak attacking. It's really good. You can't sneak attack during Horde Night, so, you know, it's kind of limited. But at the end of it, you're doing another 250% damage with sneak attacks. A bow already starts at 3.5, so another 2.5. You're doing 6 times damage with a bow. I'm pretty sure you're one-shotting infernals with a primitive bow at that point. Like, that's insane. Good on you. After that, it's from the shadows. Now, here's the thing. This is a little bit deceptive. Hide in shadows 13% more effectively. As you can see on screen here, it does. I'm in the middle of the road in the middle of the day. It's perfectly bright out. You're hiding 13% better all the time. It's not just while you're in the shadows. Noises from actions are muffled. This includes things like looting, breaking apart blocks, walking over trash, moving, like it's just quieter. And sneak movement is faster, which is able to be amazing. Enemies search for you less, so if you get caught while doing a stealth build, you're able to go hide, and it doesn't take as long for them to give up finding you, so you can go back to stealthing. Finally is the intellect tree. The influence perks are really good when it comes to being able to get more money and all that stuff. Charismatic nature is interesting. We'll go over that in a minute. But the better barter, you just 5% better buying and selling each level. The daring adventurer, you get 5% more dukes for whatever quest you complete. So if it's tier 1 clear, you get 300 dukes normally. 315, 330, 345, 360, 375. But the big thing is you get better and better access for trader items when you complete a quest. So instead of just, oh, I completed a quest, yay, I get my 3 burnt meat. Like, you're getting actual items that could be genuinely useful to you. And at level 5, you get 2. Up next, charismatic nature. This is purely a multiplayer thing. This is allies and party members. This is not you. This is other people get bonuses. So they regenerate lost health 50% faster, and they get more block and melee damage, and they take less damage from all sources, and the bleeding's like a quarter as much because it stops sooner and it's half as much damage. Everyone else finds better loot when you're around, and then everyone finds even more better loot, and they have +1 to all attributes, which is amazing because then they don't have to put in 3 points and 3 levels up into the final skill tree. So if someone has like this going, like a strength build goes nuts with someone like this, just so like someone has maxed out charismatic nature. Because if they find a strength mod, they don't have to put in 3 points for level 10. If they find a cigar mod, they don't have to put in 3 points for level 9. If they have someone with charismatic nature, they don't got to put in 3 points for level 8. Or is it 2? Give me a moment. It's 2. You save 8 level ups with this combo right here on strength build. That's insane. I love it. It's great. The general intellect perks are actually kind of weird. We're going to save physician for last, actually. We're going to go in backwards order here, starting with Grease Monkey. Grease Monkey is mostly used for boost loot odds of vehicle adventure magazines. Crafting wheels and bicycle parts 33% cheaper is nice, but it's not a big deal breaker. And every level up is the same thing, just 33% cheaper. And then repair kits are 10 to 50% more effective on vehicles, depending on what level you have in here. That's fine. I've never met anyone that needs more repair kits. It's not that difficult to get them. Advanced engineering is kind of nice. You get a lot of new books. It's on a lot of different categories. You need Forged Ahead to make progress in the game. The big thing with this is you get XP bonuses from electrical trap kills. So if you have things like spinning blade mods, electrocutioner, like wire posts going on, dart traps, all that different stuff, you get extra experience. It's never quite the same level as if I believe you were doing it yourself, but it's still a nice bonus. You also craft items faster, and you can craft things cheaper, and overall, it's an item safer. Physician's weird. Physician gets dark. In the past, if I remember correctly, Physician used to be a 3-tier thing, and then when they try to make everything universal, they put it to 5-tier. What they did with the last 2 is a little interesting. So, fun fact, you can cure other people with medicine, just right-click someone else. I don't know if you know that, but treated critical injuries heal faster. Medical healing items heal more over time. You gain more experience from using them. And then splints and casts cure sprains instantly. That's what a lot of people love. Level 2 is going to be you gain even more, and crafting items in the chem station is faster. Level 3, you can cure broken limbs instantly, which is amazing. It's a huge supporter build. And then you get to when the surgeon goes dark to an amputator and euthanizer, because the amputator gain an additional 20% chance to dismember enemies with batons. That has nothing to do with medical stuff, but okay, here we are. Level 5 is a 10% chance for instant death when using a stun baton. Just instant death 10% of the time. Kind of sweet. Kind of sweet. We'll cover the general perks really fast. So these are the ones that are a little bit more unique. Only one of them is to level 5. Light, medium, heavy armor follows a similar thing of just reduced durability use for each and every single one. What the additional benefit is does change. When it comes to light armor, it's +1, 2, 3, and 4 armor rating for each piece of light armor you have equipped. Kind of shores up that weakness of light armor. Medium armor is you have reduced movement penalty by 15% and stamina penalty by 10%. And it just slightly increases more and more and more. So you're able to move a little bit faster, and stamina penalty isn't as much. And then for the heavy armor, it's reducing the same movement and stamina penalty, but the movement isn't by as much. It gets up to 25% movement and stamina in heavy armor, as opposed to up to 75 and 50% with medium armor. So you never quite make up that gap by using heavy armor, but it still helps. Master Chef just lets you use less of the main ingredient and cook faster, and lets you find more home cooking weekly magazines, which is really useful if you want to be able to make better food. You want to make your own food yourself. You want to get into the cooking and farming game. It'll be really helpful. 20% less ingredients, and then a chance to find salvageable food in dumpsters, find even more, cook faster and faster and faster. It's really good. Living off the land, farm plots cost less is always great. It gets to 50% cost, and the thing is double the harvest of wild or planter crops, 50% chance to harvest an additional crop, then it's 3 times the harvest. So pretty good progression there. It's essentially just, you know, instead of 100% harvest, it's 200, 250, 300. Lock picking. This is dumb. Love you. This is dumb. You can pick locks 20% faster because that doesn't really matter. 10% lower chance to break your locks. You can just get out a pickaxe. Just get out. You can get out a pickaxe. What about a pickaxe? You can get. I don't. If you want to go this route, you're going stealthy. You don't want to break it open with a pickaxe. I understand that. I'm just gonna say, pickaxe. And then there's the lucky looter. So this is something that's kind of interesting. Your loot bonus is something that is kind of determined by how far you win the game. You know, 10% faster looting up to 50% faster looting is. Oh, sorry, I lied. Up to 80% faster looting. That's able to be nice. Adds 25% to loot bonus at the end of it. That increases on a steady line of 5% per level. This is only able to do so much. Early game, I wouldn't stress about it too much. You're able to always check what your loot bonus is by going to your character, looking at your core stats. It'll show loot stage 17. A 5% increase on 17 gets it to, if it rounds up, 18. It's not that much. It's not that much. But yeah, that's been all the perks. I've been somebody, you've been everybody else, and I hope you guys have had a good one. Come back. Let me know if you want anything else cover on the channel. I'll be doing those mastery perks soon, along with a tier list for all the mods once we hit monetize on the channel. Thank you guys very much. I'll see you guys sometime soon with the next one.